Hey guys, Brent Hull Build Show. Big update on the Italian Revival 1908 house. I've learned, now that we've been on this job for 6 months, so many cool things about this house, so many incredible ways that this has been built. 1908, Fort Worth, Texas, built like a tank. It's awesome. Come check it out. I want to start with just some of these architectural details. And I don't know if you remember one of the early videos we did on this house where I was talking about what's original, what isn't. You know, one of these things doesn't belong, that kind of thing. And so if you look at just the ironwork and the columns, you go, oh, that's really nice. That's good stuff. But it's only when you go closer that you look at it and go, oh, well, look, they actually just welded this bar. They've got a bar in there. This bar is hollow. They've welded these pieces to it. And so it's, okay, well, that's interesting. Cut stone cap on top of these, and look how they did the brick. And then, whoa, you look at this thing and you realize that they've got this step in it, that all the bases for these columns have these cut stone bases, and they got these beautiful capitals and finials. And oh, then we come over to this ironwork. And look what they've done here. We've got round bars, okay, that have been pierced through this ironwork, okay? Just ask a guy, hey, you know, how would we do this today? It would be very difficult to, and time consuming to build, which is the reason they did that, to build it the same way. Each of these round bars is solid, it's not hollow, is actually pierced through this metal and goes down into this thing, locking this all together. Really cool, awesome stuff. Already, you know, the elevation of the quality of the way things used to be built, it's better, really awesome. All right, one thing I was really excited about is, as we were going through this with the landscape architect, we got rid of the fountain. Now the fountain to me was a McMansion-y kind of, you know, silly thing. We have original photos. These gates are there, right? None of this other stuff was there. So none of this other stuff was built out. There was no fountain here, right, in these original photos. So we got rid of that because the thing that we were talking about putting back in wasn't very good. Now, you'll also notice that the driveway right there has been cut away, okay? What's going on there? We are putting in a geothermal HVAC system. Now, geothermal is basically you are using the Earth's core and the cool temperatures down there to circulate the system so that it becomes a very efficient, very long-lasting, very small footprint HVAC system. We're going to do a whole video on that. You can check it out, but that's what that is, geothermal. Now come inside, let me show you some of the great stuff going on in there. All right, so you're seeing all this pattern here. Remember, this thing was torn up, okay? We had a weird caustic tile entry there. There was a breakup in the pattern of this quarry tile here. It was chipped and broken in a number of areas. We had a balustrade across here, which wasn't original. So we are kind of going back to, one of the things we're working on is just how this whole area comes together. So what you're seeing is this pattern that basically we're taking this ceiling, okay, and this portico, and we're doing a big band across here and around there to kind of define the entrance. And then as you step off, we're breaking this into other areas as we go across. Now, we're changing the paint color. Notice how the cut stone really pops now. I mean, that's a big demonstrative keystone there. It's kind of split, it's kicked out. If you look at it over here, it kind of disappears, right? You don't even really see it on the house, and yet because of the paint, because of the way we're doing this, it's really showing up again. Now remember, originally this house was red brick, okay? So this main part was, you know, was red. And so these cut stone details really was shown off. Over the last 50 years, okay, the addition of that garage, the addition of the back, the addition all over the house has been painted, okay? So we had talked about going back, stripping all this paint off, but we don't know what we're going to get. We don't know whether the color is going to change, the mortar is going to change, how much was broken up. So we're sticking with paint. We've gone with this darker color, but that deep mortar line and that color now makes these architectural elements really pop, which is exciting. Okay, so we're working in here and you'll see we've widened that doorway. This paneling has come off, but we've got it right here. So What I wanted to do is just kind of show you how this was made, okay, originally. And if we look at the back side of it, now this has an MDF back on it. So we know that that is not historic. We know that that is a new piece meant to match this, okay, because this is the historic piece, and look how it was made on the back, okay. So we've got oak panels, okay, and they've all been primed, okay. And the reason they do that is because they're sealing both sides so we don't have the warpage, but all of this is oak, okay. So these were nailed together, these panels set in here. You can see it on this edge. All right, you can see the plywood oak panel. You see the oak at the base. Look at that tenon, the way it was cut in there, which is really pretty cool. Another tenon here, how they were nailed together. So they were using traditional joinery to kind of build these things originally. So if you watch my Wednesday design videos, remember that one on cabinetry we were looking at? That was this room, okay? So the cabinetry video was this house, and we talked about elevating this. Look what happened when we opened up the walls. There was originally a window there, okay? So we didn't know it was there. Someone found an old photo looking through here. We weren't sure what we were looking at because we saw a window. We pulled those cabinets, we've actually got windows. Kind of one of the fun things about working on historic houses is you do learn things about the past. One thing that kind of speaks to the high quality, and I'm going to take you downstairs and show you some of that too, but look at this. Okay, that's wire lath. Okay, so this is a plaster walls in 1908, pre-drywall. This is how those would have been made, with plaster. Typically on a house in 1908, you would have had wood lath. Okay, now the lath is the boards that are nailed on top of this thing. The plaster goes on top of that and kind of locks it all together. You have a number of different coats. The fact that they use wire lath in 1908 on a residential property really speaks to the quality of the way this house is built. I don't see wire lath in houses until 1930, late 30s, right? If I see wire lath, and it tends to be a dating thing for us in this area, I can kind of know when this thing was put together, when it was made. Even in the 1920s, you don't really see much wire lath. So to see wire lath on this early house really speaks to the quality of this house, really speaks to the quality of the building. Now, I want to take you downstairs. I want to show you the underside of these rooms because all of these floors are concrete. Awesome the way they built this house. So real quick before we go downstairs, there is this balustrade across here that we're trying to take it away from being that late Victorian looking staircase to something that's more appropriate to Italian Revival house. So what we did was we're mocking up a number of different looks for the house, and this was kind of the square balustrade. We've got a lot of balustrades going on in the house with the column and the little pedestal pieces there. These were some other elements we're trying here. I'll show you a sketch of kind of how we worked it out, and what we're working towards may go with iron. This is one of the decisions we haven't really finalized yet, so we're still working on it, but just showing you some of the work. Part of that was changing this stair. We flipped it around because downstairs what happened is there's an old bank safe, and this guy was a banker. The reason why we think it was built so well, it was right at the bottom of the stairs, and you would hit or step off this step. I can't tell you the number of times people have tripped going down that stair because that tread was so short because the bank vault door didn't open. I'll show you that downstairs, but that's why this has been flipped. Look what happened here, guys. This is where the stair was. That little tread got short here because it was getting in the way of this bank vault door opening. So this is an original bank vault door opening up, coming up these stairs. We just flipped the stairs so we'd have more room. I want to take you in here because this is where going to be the nerve center. I want to show you the underside of this, kind of show you how well this house is built. Okay, this is the original basement. There's a door that went back there. The servants would have been working. But look what's going on in this ceiling. I don't know how well you can see it, but I've got a concrete beam right here, and where our new mechanicals are going to be coming down this wall, you can see the floors are concrete as well. To have a 1908 house with concrete floors in the basement all the way up to the attic, because even in the attic they're concrete floors, this was built like a commercial building. This was built like a building that was downtown. And so evidently this banker had some money, wanted to build a substantial house, and ended up pouring concrete floors for his house and then building it around it. It's the reason why this house is so special. The architectural details are awesome. He had the best architect working. They had the best building plans and details. Now we're fixing it. It's really a lot of fun. All right, so part of fixing his house was the backyard. You can see that they're cutting up the pool. They're tearing it about right now. We've taken out a lot of that decking and the bad balustrade. We've got a beautiful design working on the back. One of my Wednesday design videos was fixing an outdoor fireplace. That's what that's going to be. So we've reduced the number of columns in here on this rotunda. We've got a big fireplace going in right here. So you'll actually see it from the front door when you're coming through. You'll see this great fireplace. There, instead of being 1, 2, 3, 4, there'll be only be 2 columns here. So this is really going to open up. We're going to have a column here, have a column there, and then one on the corner. So this is really going to open up even more. So we've worked through the molding details. That took, 2 or 3 months to figure that out. So a lot of fun things have been happening here. We've been kind of stripping away, 30 or 40 years of McMansionism and, kind of going back and infusing it with that old soul that we like to talk about. Okay guys, a lot of exciting things here happening in this job. Really kind of discovered how great they were building in the past. It raises our bar, helps us to want to achieve better ourselves. So love working on these historic houses. I learned so much. It's just enlightening and invigorating. And I hope you find that too when you work on your houses. I'm Brent Hull, thanks for watching.